Have you ever wondered why your belly fat just wouldn't go away? I get it. I used to have a big tummy, even I looked quite fit with a shirt on. I thought doing 100 sit-ups a day would give me a six-pack, but no matter how many ab exercises I tried, nothing worked. It was frustrating because it felt like an impossible battle. Then I discovered the real problem. The fat in my tummy is not the same as the fat in my arms and legs. It's the visceral fat, the fat surrounding the organs. I was failing because I didn't know how to target this type of fat. Now, after reading tons of research, I've learned how to get rid of it, and I can easily get a six-pack if I want. If you're new here, I'm Steven, a nutritionist from HKU and a current physio student. Here's something important to know. Visceral fat doesn't just make you look bad, it's a key driver of metabolic syndromes. But don't panic. By the end of this video, you will know what visceral fat is, how to measure visceral fat without a fancy tools, and the best exercise and diet to reduce visceral fat. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is visceral fat and why you should care? Visceral fat is the fat stored deep inside your belly, wrapping around organs like your liver, pancreas, and intestines. Unlike subcutaneous fat, the fat you can touch, visceral fat is untouchable. But visceral fat is way more dangerous because it is metabolically active. It means it will constantly release the chemicals and hormones into your body. These substances can mess with your insulin levels, cause inflammations, and increase your risk of chronic diseases like high blood pressures, heart diseases, type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or even early death. It's not just a problem for those who are overweight. Even people who look slim can have excessive visceral fat and suffer health consequences. However, if you are overweight, of course, you need to pay extra attention to your visceral fat levels. Apart from body weight, there's other risk factors. For example, as you get older, you are more likely to store visceral fat, and men tend to have more visceral fat than women. If your family had high visceral fat, your chances are higher. And also, if you are Asians like me, you are more likely to store visceral fat compared to white or black populations, so you need to be careful if you match those risk factors. But how do you know if you are having too much visceral fat? Here's some practical methods you can use at home. One of the easiest way is to use a tape to measure around your waist, just above your hip bones at the narrowest part of your waist. Remember, don't tuck in your belly. For men, a circumference greater than 94 cm and women who is greater than 80 cm is considered at risk and consistent with abdominal obesity. In the US and Canada, the cutoff point is a bit higher. You can just pause the video to find out the cutoff point of your population. If you want to be a bit more precise, you can measure waist to hip ratio. Waist to hip ratio can help identify whether the fat is stored around the belly or hips, so you can determine are you having an apple-shaped or pear-shaped body. Research shows that an apple-shaped body is more likely to have cardiovascular and metabolic problems. To calculate the ratio, you need to get your waist circumference first. It is the same as the last test. Then measure your hip circumference at the widest part of your hips, and then divide your waist measurement by your hip measurement. For men, a ratio about 0.9 and for women about 0.85 suggests higher visceral fat levels. If you find the calculation difficult, you can use this online calculator. Just enter your age, weight, height, and waist and thigh circumference. Yes, it is not the same as hip circumference, but it is easier to measure from my perspective. Just follow the instruction and put in all the data. It will calculate your visceral fat risk. If you are looking for more accurate assessment, you need to find a doctor or ask for imaging tests like CT scan and MRIs. It is the gold standard. This test can measure exactly how much fat is surrounding your organs. Usually the visceral fat are greater than 100 square centimeter is linked to a higher risk of metabolic diseases. If you discover you have too much visceral fat, your body is being damaged from the inside. But here's the good news, you can lose this fat with the right exercise and nutrition strategies. Several studies examined what types of exercise reduce visceral fat more effectively and then found out that the most effective types are high-intensity aerobic exercise and high-intensity interval training. In some studies, high-intensity aerobic exercise show better results than high-intensity interval training. It reduces visceral fat by up to 14% in some individuals. In the study, high intensity means exercise at above 65% VO2 max, or above 75% of maximum heart rate, or 65% of heart rate reserve. Wow, sounds difficult, right? Let me tell you how to calculate it. VO2 max is quite hard to measure without the equipment, or you have to undergo complicated calculation. So let's just focus on maximum heart rate and heart rate reserve for measuring your intensity. The maximum heart rate is the highest number of heartbeats per minute your heart can achieve during intense exercise. You can use these two formulas to estimate it. The general formula is 220 minus your age. For example, if you are 30 years old, then 220 minus 30 then is 190 BPM. For more accurate formula, it use 208 minus 0.7 times your age. If you're 30 years old, then 208 minus 0.7 times 30, then the answer is 187 BPM. So you can use these two formulas to calculate the resting heart rate. The heart rate reserve is the difference between your maximum heart rate and your resting heart rate. It is used to determine heart rate zones for exercises. The formula is here. You use your maximum heart rate minus resting heart rate. For example, if your maximum heart rate is 190, then your resting heart rate is 60 measured after waking up in the morning, then your heart rate reserve is 130 BPM. But why heart rate reserve is useful? Because it helps tailor exercise intensity to your fitness level. 50 to 60% of HRR is a low intensity exercise, 60 to 70 is a moderate intensity exercise, 7 to 85 is a high intensity exercise. So you can simply wear the Apple Watch and look at the heart rate. Make sure to achieve the criteria of high intensity if you want to maximize your visceral fat reduction. You can run, cycling or row, whatever you enjoy. But if you dislike long cardio sessions like me, HIIT is a time-saving alternative. Personally, I like doing HIIT more than long cardio. HIIT means perform short bursts of intense exercise with recovery periods in between. And that's how I usually perform HIIT. I will run at full speed for around 25 seconds, then rest for 30 seconds, and repeat for 10 sets. You can find many variations on the HIIT program online, but make sure it won't hurt you because HIIT is really challenging. If you are new to exercise, HIIT may not be the best option for you, but if you can handle the intensity, HIIT is a great tool for busy people because it burns calories and reduces visceral fat efficiently. By the way, I sent out a weekly newsletter to share tips on nutrition, training, and injury prevention. It's easy to read and simple to apply in real life. My goal is to help you to focus on just one habit or one behavior each week because I believe that one small change every week can make your life so much better. I will put the link in the description. Feel free to sign up. It's completely free. Let's get back. But what about resistance training? Can it help us to reduce visceral fat? Study shows that resistance training alone isn't effective at reducing visceral fat. So does it mean we should skip the gym? No, resistance training plays a crucial but a slightly different role in your overall fat loss plan. Here's why. Building muscle through resistance training can boost your metabolism. Muscles are metabolically active, meaning they burn more calories even when you're sitting on the couch. Over time, this can turn your body into a fat burning machine, making it easier to lose fat, including visceral fat indirectly. Also, resistance training helps your body process carbohydrates more efficiently, reducing the likelihood of storing them as fat. This improved insulin sensitivity not only reduces fat storage, but also plays a key role in preventing diseases like type 2 diabetes. I have a video about insulin resistance. If you're interested about how insulin resistance affects weight loss and how to reverse it, you can watch the video after we finish this video. Also, the best part of resistance training gives you the muscular tone and leaner look. Even your body fat percentage remains the same. Building muscles can drastically improve your overall physique and confidence. You may say, I'm busy, I have no time to gym. Actually, you don't need to spend endless hours in the gym to build muscles. Just 2 or 3 sessions per week, around 45 minutes for each session, can already make a huge difference. I've also created a video specifically for busy people who want to maximize their gains in the minimal time. Also, feel free to check it after watching this video. Now, here's the good news. You can combine resistance training with aerobic training to reduce your visceral fat as well. Although it is not the most efficient way to cut down visceral fat from the research, this hybrid approach is perfect for me because I can build muscle while reducing visceral fat. I usually perform a brisk walking or stair stepping after resistance training. It works pretty good for me, but exercise is only half the equation. You probably heard it before. Abs are made in the kitchen. When it comes to visceral fat, this is 100% true. At the core of any fat loss strategy is energy balance. Research shows that excessive calorie intake, regardless of macronutrient type, would make you store fat, especially visceral fat. It means even you eat healthy foods every day, but you have a calorie surplus, then you still store fat. To lose visceral fat, you must create a calorie deficit, consume fewer calories than your body needs. None of the exercise will work if your diet provides more energy than your body can burn. Calorie is way more important than any diet plan. However, there's a certain types of food can make it easier to maintain a calorie deficit. Study shows that one of the most effective diets for reducing visceral fat is the Mediterranean diet. Not only does it reduce the visceral fat, but study also shows that it lowers the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. This diet is well known for focusing on anti-inflammatory and nutrient-rich foods, making it one of the healthiest and more sustainable sustainable diets around. The Mediterranean diet isn't a strict meal plan, it's more like a lifestyle that emphasizes on whole and processed foods. For example, cook with olive oil instead of processed fat, eat a lot of vegetables, choose whole grains over refined carbohydrates, include fatty fish like salmon, eating healthy snacks like nuts, fresh foods, and limit processed foods and sugary drinks. Overall, it focuses on whole, nutrient-rich foods to enjoy the benefits of this lifestyle. For even better results, consider the Green Mediterranean diet. This variation adds polyphenol-rich foods like green tea, walnuts, and additional plant-based proteins while reducing red and processed meats. A recent study found that the Green Mediterranean diet reduced visceral fat by 14%, which is double the standard Mediterranean diet. This is a game changer if you are serious about losing belly fat and improving your health. You may be wondering, what about keto diet? While keto has become trendy, it's not ideal for reducing visceral fat in the long term. The keto diet focuses on very low carbohydrate intake, around 7% of daily calories, which can lead to quick weight loss, but it has several disadvantages for your health or even shorten your lifespan. I've made a video about keto, check it out to learn why I don't recommend it for weight loss, and I will see you there.